Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. We got game number 2 between the Kansas City Royals and Minnesota Twins. And leading off for the visiting Kansas City Royals, playing left field is Damon. Batting second, playing center field's Wilson. Batting third, playing third is Brett. Batting fourth, playing right field is Tartable. Batting fifth, playing first base is Mayberry. Batting sixth, doing the catching is Porter. Batting seventh, playing second base is Merrifield. Batting eighth, playing shortstop is Escobar. And batting ninth and on the mound is GUBICZA. And for the hometown Minnesota Twins, leading off, playing second base is Knobloch. Batting second, playing second is Carew. Batting third, playing center field is Puckett. Batting fourth, doing the catching is Meyer. Batting fifth, playing third base is Killebrew. Batting sixth, playing right field is Oliva. Batting seventh, playing left field is Bostock. Batting eighth, playing shortstop is Palanca. And batting ninth is Dave GOLTZ. And let's get down to the Homer Dome and get this game started. And the lead it off here for Kansas City is Johnny Damon, batting 167 with no homers and an RBI. And Dave's first appearance of the year, and in 1978 he was 15-10 with a 2.49 ERA. Here's the pitch to Johnny, and that's going to be against the righty, an 18. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. And that'll be out number one. One up and one down here in the first. And Willie Wilson's up now. And Wilson's batting 167 with no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a base hit. Wilson's aboard here with one out, an infield hit. So Wilson's down at first. And let's see how long he stays down there. He'll be taking off. That'll be a Arma. So a 34. So a 64 or less. He's safe. And he's in there with a stolen base. Wilson's down at second now with one out for Brett. And Brett's batting 231 with no homers and 3 RBIs. Here's the pitch to George. And that's going to be a catcher. And 56 and a 9. That's barely column number 1. And that's going to be a strike. Runner called off second. So they throw Wilson all out at second, pick him off. And now there's 2 outs and nobody on. As Joe throws down the second and gets him. Now Brett's up. And here's the pitch. Nobody on and 2 outs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes George out. And Kansas City, with the base hit, gets nothing. We go to the bottom of the first. Royals, nothing. And the Twins coming to bat. You can see the team comparisons here. The Kansas City Royals batting 217 with a 243 on base percentage, slugging 401 with a 644 on base percentage, OPS rather, and the Twins batting 241, 306 on base percentage, slugging 489 and an OPS of 794. And now you got Chuck Knobloch to lead it off here, batting 417 with a homer and 4 RBIs. Mark GUBICZA, this is his 1988 season, making his first start of the year. He's 1988 was 20-8 with a 2.7 ERA. Here's the pitch to Chuck. And that's going to be a base on balls. Knobloch walks on down the first. And that brings up Rod Carew. And the Twins are going to do a little bit of hit and run. Carew's batting .231 with no homers and 1 RBI. And that's going to be a strike. And Knobloch's going to try to steal second here. That'll be a 6-23 or lower. 45 or lower, he's safe. And they throw him out. Porter throws him out trying to steal, so the hit and run doesn't pay off. Now there's 1 out, nobody on. And here's the 0-1 pitch to Carew, and that's going to be a swing and a miss. They come back and strike him out. And now you got Puckett up, 2 outs and nobody on. Batting .250 with no homers and 3 RBIs. And that's going to be a 18. That's going to be a fly ball out to Wilson. So the leadoff walk goes nowhere. And we go to the top of the second. It's 2-0. I mean, it's 0-0. As we go to the second, and you got Tartarball due up, followed by Mayberry and Daryl Porter. And Danny is batting .250 on the year, no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Dave strikes him out. Second strikeout of the game for Dave. And now you got Mayberry up, batting 0 for 4, looking for his first hit of the year. And that's not going to happen. That's a ground ball down to Killebrew. Over to Carew for out number 2. And Daryl Porter comes to the plate. And Porter is batting .250 with a homer and RBI. And that ball's well hit by Porter. So a 2-out base hit. Where's it going to land at? Out in right field. And that'll be a double for Daryl. He's standing down at second now, 2 out. And Merrifield's up. Can he drive him in? Porter, not a lot of speed out there, but there is 2 outs. And Merrifield's batting .143, no homers and no RBI. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. Knobloch up with it, fires over to Carew, and that ends the inning. Kansas City strands 1 to the bottom of the second. We go Joe Meyer, followed by Killebrew and Oliva. Joe is batting .600 on the year with no homers and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. Escobar fires over to first for out number 1. And I'll put that down to third. It should be to short. Straighten that out real quick. There we go. And now you got Killebrew up with nobody on and 1 out. Killebrew batting .231 with a homer and 2 RBI. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. That's GUBICZA's second strikeout of the game. See Kansas City's upcoming schedule. They got 1 more game in Minnesota. Then they head to Kansas City to play Baltimore. Then after that, the Twins come in and play some games here. So 1 more game here in the Twin City. The Orioles come for 2 games in Kansas City, and then the Twins come in. Tony Oliva's batting .333 with no homers and no RBI. And we drop the dice. Make this an official game. And that's going to be against a righty. That'll be a 13. That's going to be an infield hit for Tony. So Tony with an infield hit. 2 outs. And let's see here what Lehman can do. Batting .500 on the year with no homers and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be popped up behind the plate. Daryl Porter takes the mask off, and that'll be out number 3. So to the top of the third we go. Still no score. We got Escobar due up, followed by GUBICZA. Then back to Johnny Damon. And Escobar is looking for his first hit of the year. He's 0 for 3. And that's going to be a base on ball. So he's going to walk on down to first. And it brings up Mark GUBICZA, his first plate appearance of the year. And he's going to try to bunt him down the second here. Bunt signs on. And that's going to be a 32. And that's going to be bunted down the third base. Killebrew's up with it. Only plays over to first with Carew covering. But the runner will get in scoring position now with one out. And Johnny Damon comes up to the plate with a chance to break this deadlock. He's 0 for 1. He grounded out in the first. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. A big strikeout there by Dave. That's his third strikeout of the game. Now there's 2 outs and a runner down at second. And Willie Wilson, who's 1 for 1 today, he singled and stole second back in the first. And he gets a hold of this one. Wilson having a good time here in Minnesota. And that ball is hit hard. That ball is driven into deep center field. And with Wilson's speed, you know where he's going to end up at. That brown-eyed, handsome man standing down at third with an RBI triple. Just like that, Kansas City's up 1-0. Now George Brett comes to the plate. Brett is 0 for 1, struck out in the first. And not this time. Brett's going to drive in Wilson. And that's going to be a double in right field. Brett turns on that, gets himself an RBI double. And just like that, 2 outs, all this is happening. It's 2-0 Kansas City. Dave's got himself into a pickle here trying to get out of it. Can't get that elusive third out. Danny Tartable's up. He's 0 for 1, struck out in the second. And that's going to be against the righty, a 17. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. Well, wait a second. Sorry, with 2 outs, that's going to be a fly ball in the center field. Puckett makes the catch for out number 3. Kansas City scores 2, takes a 2-0 lead into the bottom of the third. Bottom part of the order due up here for the Twins. Polanco, Dave, and then back to Knobloch. And Polanco is batting .500 on the year. No homers and 3 RBIs. And that's going to be against the righty, 14. That's going to be a fly ball out the left field. Damon makes the catch. Out number 1. Dave GOLTZ is up now. And Dave, his first plate appearance of the year. And that's going to be a base on balls. Walking the pitcher never turns into anything good. As you can see, the team comparisons. Kansas City 2-2, 13 runs on 7 homers, 5 stolen bases have been caught once. The Twins 17 runs, 4 homers, 1 stolen base, and haven't been caught yet. Chuck Knobloch out the plate. He walked back in the first and got caught stealing. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. And they'll get the lead runner out. That's batter will be doubled up. And he's not, so Knobloch will beat the throw. So now you got Knobloch down at first rather, and Carew up with 2 down. Carew's 0 for 1, struck out in the first. And that's going to be a fly ball out the Tartable. That'll end the inning. The Twins strand 1. We go to the top of the 4th in a 2-0 ball game. Mayberry, Porter, and Merrifield due up. John's 0 for 1 today. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes him out for out number 1. And Darrell Porter's up now. He doubled back in the second, 1 for 1. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Killebrew for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down. And it's going to be up to Mr. Merrifield. Keep this inning alive. He's 0 for 1 today. Grounded out in the second. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Dave strikes him out. To the bottom of the 4th we go. We got the big boys due up here for the Twins. Puckett, Mayer, and Killebrew. Kirby 0 for 1 today. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Puckett out for out number 1. And Joe comes up to the plate now. And Joe's 0 for 1 today. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. Brett makes an easy play out of it for out number 2. It's up to old Harmon to do something. Killebrew 0 for 1, struck out in the second. And he's going to strike out again. GUBICZA's got his number. And now to win the inning, 1, 2, 3, go to Twins. To the top of the 5th we go. Nice pitching duel here. 2-0 Kansas City. Escobar, he walked and came around to score back in the third. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. So he's aboard for the second time today. Again, they're going to ask Mark to get the bunt down, move him over in the scoring position. He was successful his first time up. He missed both attempts there. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Keep the bunt sign on, and that's going to get the job done. That's batted, bunted down to first, and Carew's up with it. He throws over to Knobloch covering. The runner will get in scoring position now. So now you got 1 out and Johnny Damon up. Runner down at second. Damon's 0 for 2, grounded out and struck out. And that's going to be a pop up down the short. Polanco makes the catch. Now there's 2 outs. And remember, this is when all the damage happened in the third. Wilson, 2 for 2. He hit an RBI triple in the third. 35 against a righty. Be a 20, and that's going to be a ground ball down the short, and Polanco fields it cleanly, fires over the Carew, and Kansas City strands 1 at second. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 2-0 KC. You got Oliva, Bostock, and Polanco due up here, and Tony is 1 for 1. He's singled back in the second. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Mayberry. Takes it himself for out number 1. And Lehman's up now. He's 0 for 1. He popped up behind the plate to Porter his first time up. Not this time. He squares this one up, folks. See where this one's going to end up at. And that ball is driven out the left field. And he's going to put on his Jets. He's turning second, headed for third. He's got himself a 1-out triple, folks. And now Polanco's up with a runner down at third and 1 out. Kansas City's going to play for the out. Let the run score. Don't want to give up a big inning. Polanco's 0 for 1 today. And that's going to be a 39 catcher. 51 and a 5. Is it the catcher? Yeah, the catcher. An 8 and a 51. And that's going to be fielding column 1. Right. 39, that's okay. Ball runner is picked off third. They're going to pick a runner off at third. Yep, they're going to pick Lehman off at third. Unbelievable, folks. Pick him off at third. And that's going to be 2 outs now and nobody on. These runners, not very good base running by either team. That's 2 times in this game that a runner's been picked off. Wilson got picked off. Now Lehman. Now 2 outs. And here's the 1-0 pitch. And that's going to be against the righty of 14, and of course you're going to get a base hit, right? Yep, that's a base hit that would have drove in the run if he wasn't picked off. That's how it always works, doesn't it? As Dave Little joins us, check out his great channel, folks. As soon as you get picked off, somebody gets a hit. And that brings up Dave now. He walked his first time up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, and that'll end the inning. Missed opportunity there by the Twins. As they strand 1, still trail 2-0 as we go to the 6th inning. You got the big boys due up here for Kansas City. Brett Tarterbull and Mayberry. George 1 for 2 with an RBI double. And that's going to be a lazy fly ball out the left for out number 1. And Danny Tartable comes to the plate. And he's 0 for 2 today. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Carew. He calls off Dave for out number 2. And Mayberry comes to the plate now. And he is 0 for 2. Grounded out and struck out. And that's going to be another swing and a miss. John strikes out for the second time. Ends the inning. Kansas City goes down in order. The bottom of the 6th we go, with the top of the order due up here for the Twins, trying to get back in this game 2-0. Chuck is 0 for 1. He walked and got caught stealing back in the first. And that's going to be a hit by pitch. And he hits Knobloch. Don't know how smart that was. So Knobloch's down at first. Rod Carew's up now. So runner down at first. Carew's 0 for 2. He has struck out and flown out. And the hit and run cost them the last time, but they're going to try it again. And that's going to be good that they did, because that's going to save them from hitting into a double play. That's going to be hit down the Mayfield. His only plays over to first with the hit and run. So the runner will get down the second with 1 out. That brings up Kirby Puckett now. And Puckett's 0 for 2. He's flown out and struck out. And that's going to be a ground ball down the first. Let's see, might not be down the first. 24 and a 4. First baseman. That'll be fielding column 1. That's going to be popped up. Fly ball in the fair territory. Nope, in the foul territory. And Mayberry makes the catch. Knobloch will stay put. Now there's 2 outs with the runner down the second. Can Joe deliver here? Joe's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. And that's going to be a 36 wild pitch. And that is going to be a wild pitch. The runner's going to get down the third. And now you got the runner 90 feet away on the 1-0 pitch. Let's see if Joe can deliver now. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And nope, that's a lazy fly ball out to Wilson for out number 3. Again, Twins strand a runner. We get to the 7th inning. It's a 2-0 ball game. We got us a pitching duel going here, folks. You got Porter, Mayfield, and Escobar due up. Darrell's 1 for 2 with a double. And that's going to be a fly ball, I think, out to center field. Yep, and Kirby makes the play for out number 1. Mayfield comes to the plate. And he's 0 for 2 today. Grounded out and struck out. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Killebrew. And that's 2 quick outs here in the top of the 7th. And Mr. Escobar is up now, who is 1 for 1. He was walked, came around the score back in the 3rd, and singled in the 5th. And that's a lazy fly ball out the left. 1, 2, 3 goes the Royals. And we make it to the 7th inning stretch. It's 2-0 Kansas City. We got probably the last inning here for GUBICZA. He's due to lead off the top of the 8th. He's got Killebrew, Oliva, and Lehman due up. Harmon's 0 for 2. He's struck out twice. Can GUBICZA give him the old hat trick? No. But he's yet to put the ball in play. He takes a walk this time. So Killebrew's down at first. Tying run comes to the plate, and Tony Oliva. 1 swing in the bat here, and he could tie this ball game up. He's 1 for 2. One of the 3 hits in this ball game. He singled back in the 2nd. Not this time, though, folks. That's going to be well, you might get a Mayfield's a pretty good fielding first baseman. Let's see if this makes it through for a base hit. A 34 and a 4. That's going to be fielding column 1. And Oliva does bat left. So the runner's going to be safe at first. Beats the throw. That's going to be the old 3-6 put out, as Oliva's able to beat the throw back. So it'll leave us down at first with 1 out. And Lehman comes to the plate. And Bostock is 1 for 2. He had a triple back in the 5th. Then got picked off. That's going to be a 14 and an 8. That's going to be a fly ball out to right field. Danny Tartable makes the play for out number 2. So Ken Palanca deliver here with a runner on first and 2 outs. He singled back in the 5th. That's going to be another fly ball out to Tartable. And that'll end the inning. And again, the Twins unable to score with a runner on. We go to the top of the 8th in a 2-0 game. Give Mark credit. Pitching a fine game. We're going to let him bat, folks. With a 2-0 lead, they're going to let him bat. He's pitching a 3-hit shutout. He has 2 sacrifice bunts in the game. And that's going to be a base on balls. Dave walks the leadoff batter and the pitcher. Not a good sign here. I don't get the bullpen up. He's due to lead off the bottom of the 8th. That's why they kept him in the game. Now you got Damon up. He's 0 for 3. He is grounded out, popped up, and struck out. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, a big strikeout following that walk. As you can see, the team comparisons, KC 2-2, 48 strikeouts, 6 walks, 14 doubles, and 2 triples. The Twins 1-2, 33 strikeouts, 17 walks, 17 doubles, and 1 triple. Now you got Wilson up. He's having another fine game here in Minnesota. He is 2 for 3 today with an RBI triple, a stolen base, and he's came around to score once. Here's the pitch to Wilson. And that's going to be a ground ball down the 3rd. Let's see here. 35 and a 3. Killebrew not the best fielding third baseman in the game. And that's going to be fielding column 3. That'll get the runner down the 2nd. I only play for Killebrew's the 1st. So now there's 2 outs, a runner on 2nd for Mr. Brett. And George is having a fine game here. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI double. And that's going to be against the righty. It'll be an 11. And that's going to be a nice play down at 3rd by Killebrew. He dives, takes a RBI single, at least a single, maybe a double away from Brett. Fires over, gets his counterpart, and that ends the top of the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th in a 2-0 ball game. We'll have a pitch hitter here for Dave. Then we're back to the top of the order in Knobloch and Carew. And they're going to let GUBICZA pitch here, folks. He's got a shutout brewing. A 3-hit shutout. See who's going to come off the bench here. And it's going to be Brian Dozier. It's going to come off the bench. Try to get on here. Bring the tying run up to the plate. And Dozier's 0 for 2 this beginning of this year. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Wilson. He's going to be 0 for 3. Easy fly. As D. Scott Hire joins us here. So now there's 1 out here. Back to the top of the order in Knobloch. Chuck is 0 for 1. He has walked and been hit by a pitch. So he's been on base twice. And then he grounded into a fielder's choice. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Danny for out number 2. So it's up to Rod Carew to get something going here in the 8th inning. Carew's 0 for 3. Struck out, flown out, and grounded out. And that's going to be another swing and a miss. Mark strikes him out for the 2nd time. Ends the bottom of the 8th to the 9th inning. We go 2-0 KC. And we got Tartable up, followed by Mayberry and Porter. And let's see who's going to come out of the bullpen. You got the righty and then 2 lefties. And it looks like it's going to be Glenn Perkins coming out of the bullpen, bringing on the lefty. Where's Perkins at? There he is. And this is Perkins' first appearance. In 2013, he was 2-0 with 36 saves. See Kansas City's upcoming schedule. One more game here in Minnesota, and then they go home, take on the Orioles for 2, and the Twins come to town for some games after that. Tartable 0 for 3, struck out, flown out, and grounded out. Here's the pitch from Perkins, and that's going to be against the lefty, 19 and a 9. That's going to be a nice play by Perkins. He fires over to first after fielding a tough ball. That'll be out number 1. Got to learn to field your own position there. John does it. Comes up now. He's 0 for 3. He's grounded out and struck out twice. And that's going to be a rare play, a 37 and a 34. And that's going to be strike 1. So the 0-1 pitch coming now. Can Perkins strike him out for the 3rd time and give him the hat trick. And he gets a piece of that ball, hit down the knob block over to Carew for out number 2. And Daryl Porter comes to the plate now. Porter's 1 for 3. He's doubled in this game. 1 of the 3 hits, 5 hits rather. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left field. 1, 2, 3 goes Kansas City. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Kansas City holding on to a 2-0 lead. Mark's going to come out and start this inning. But they got Mr. Davis out there warming up. Wade Davis, their closer's getting ready if they need him. If anybody gets on, that'll be it for Mark. You got Quebec, Joe, and Harmon. You got the big boys, 3, 4, 5 hitters. Mark's going to have to earn this shutout. Kirby's 0 for 3. He's flown out, struck out, and popped up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Tartable for out number 1. 1 up and 1 down. And Joe Meyer comes up, and Joe's 0 for 3. He is grounded out twice and flown out. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Mark with his 7th strikeout of the game. 1 out away from a shutout here. It's up to Killebrew to keep this game alive. He is 0 for 2. He did walk back in the 7th. He has struck out twice, yet to put the ball in play. And guess what? That's a base on balls for Killebrew. That brings the tying run to the plate. And we might not have Davis come out. I think they're going to bring the lefty out. That'll probably mean they'll pitch hit for Leva. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to bring the lefty out of the bullpen. They only got 1 lefty. That's Mungo. Steve's going to come out of the bullpen. So Steve's going to come out of the bullpen. Mark can't get the complete game shutout, and they don't want to lose this game. So Steve's going to come out of the bullpen to pitch to Leva, and Tony's probably going to be pitched hit for here. This is the 2nd appearance for Steve. No record and no ERA. Let's see what they counter with here. Where Larry Heisel will probably come out of the dugout here. It's my bet who will come out and pitch hit for Leva. Could be Torrey Hunter. And it's going to be Larry. I'm going to stick with my gut decision. Larry's going to come out of the dugout and pitch hit here for Oliva. Got Lehman due up next, another lefty, and then the switch hitter. So you're in the heart of these lefties. So Tony's going to come out of the game. Larry's coming in here with the tying run coming to the plate. 2 outs in a 2-0 ball game. Larry's hitting 111 with no homers and no RBIs. Can he keep this ball game alive? Killebrew down at first on a walk. Here's the pitch to Larry. That's going to be against the lefty, a 16. And that is going to be a fly ball. Johnny Damon puts on the Jets, runs that ball down. That was going to be a base hit all the way, but Johnny Damon takes it away, robs him of a single, and Damon, nice play out there to end the ball game. A tip of the cat by Steve, and the ball game's over. And the Kansas City Royals win this game 2-0. Take a look now at the box score. That's Kansas City wins another one here, folks. The Twins can't produce many runs here. Kansas City 2 runs on 5 hits and no errors. The Twins no runs on 3 hits and no errors. Mr. Wilson's having a fine day here, 2 for 4. And the Twins were 2 for 7. I mean, Kansas City was 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Wilson with a triple. They only left 4 men on base. Only 3 hits by the Twins. They were 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position, left 6 men on base. Mark GUBICZA, nice game, gets up his first win. 8 2/3, 3 hits, 4 walks, and struck out 7. And Steve comes in, pitches a third of an inning, picks up the save. Dave GOLTZ didn't pitch a bad game, drops to 0-1. Yeah, not good at all for the Twins is right, Dave. Like I say, this can't score. 8 innings for Dave, 5 hits, 2 runs, walked 2, struck out 7. Perkins comes in, pitches 1 inning. They just couldn't put any runs on the board. Take a look now at the standings and leaderboard in the American League. And the Yankees are 2 games up on the Orioles, Red Sox, and Jays. And the Devil Rays are 2.5 games back. The Tigers are now a half a game up on the Indians and Royals. And the Twins and White Sox are 2 games back. Now west, the Rangers a game up on Seattle, Oakland 2, and the Angels 2.5. Curtis Granderson's leading the American League with a 5.45 ERA. The 2 Indians with 4 homers, Jim and Jose, and Jim Thome with 8 RBIs. Of course, like I say right now, ERA leader at 0. Bunch of pitchers tied with win-win. You do got John Heller and Mariano Rivera with 2 saves. Jim Thome's leading the MVP voting, and Jim Palmer's leading in the Cy Young. Yeah, exactly, Dave. You're correct. Yeah, that is true. Very true. I want to thank Dave Little and D. Scott Howard for stopping by. The next game on the channel is going to be the final game of this series. Can the Twins win one here, folks? And pitching for the Kansas City Royals is going to be Brett Saberhagen. And old Cat is going to be pitching for the Twins. So that should be a damn good game. Brett against Jim. See who wins this one. Like I say, the Twins 1-3 have dropped the last 2 games here and home. Can they get at least a win out of this series? If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for reminders, and on your way out of Minnesota, hit that like button and leave a comment. Till next time, y'all have a great day and take care.